Now, this weekend, the DA will elect a new leader. John Steenhuisen has been acting in the position for about a year now, since the departure of Musi Maimane. Balintulo has also thrown her hat in the ring. Let's discuss who's likely to be elected to lead the DA with journalist and writer Jan Jan Joubert. Hi there, Jan Jan. Thanks very much for joining us. Do you think it's an absolute slam dunk for John Steenhuisen this weekend?
I do think so, for getting the majority of the vote. I think he's worked hard for it. He's had the party machine to some degree behind him, and he's been acting leader for a long, long time, which means that his profile is very high. So I think he will win, yes.
Balintulo has been described by ex-DA Chief Whip Douglas Gibson as really, really good, but just too young, lacking the experience in Parliament to take the helm for the DA. Would you agree with his assessment of her?
Well, she certainly is young, and she has not served in Parliament. She has served in the KwaZulu-Natal legislature after serving in the eThekwini Metro Council in Durban. But I don't know whether that is the measure, really. That would depend on what the delegates want. The previous leader of the DA also didn't have any parliamentary experience when he came in. So perhaps it's damning with faint praise there.
It did cross my mind that that might be the case. Is she likely to leave the party if she doesn't get elected? Or is she going to stay within the party ranks and continue her job, do you think?
On my understanding, she's not planning to leave if she loses. The story has been put about, but not by her own people, more by the other side, basically trying to, in some way, establish some sort of link with Lindiwe Mazibuko, who left for Harvard University when she was not elected. Well, she never stood, but before the election in 2014. So I think that is the idea behind that story, but I don't think there's much credence to it. And my understanding from people close to Balintulo is that that's not the plan at all.
Let's look a little bit closer at John Steenhuisen, who you say is probably a bit of a shoe-in for the position. What are his strengths and weaknesses, bearing in mind that he has to chart quite a strong course for the DA?
His strengths and his weaknesses are very much interlinked. It is that he is a fighter, and that opposition voters, of course, like. They want to take the fight to the government, and that is his strong point. We've seen him in Parliament. He's excellent in Parliament. He was an excellent Chief Whip. But that is also his weak point, because he tends to also get involved in a lot of internal fights within the DA. And he will have to, if he is elected leader, rise above that and build bridges if he wants to grow his party. If, of course, he does not want to grow his party, but rather purify it, as some would have it, then he can fight with whomever he wants. But if success means growth, and if growth means power, then surely you would want a reconciler in the end to unite the official opposition.
And is it clear what his vision is for the party?
I don't find it all that clear. I think we will have to wait until after the Congress to see it. At the moment, I understand that his main point is to make his majority as large as is humanly possible. I can't quite understand why. I would actually think that that too big a win would be a problem for him, but he doesn't think so.
And you say that you think that Balintulo is not likely to win this, and she is likely to stay within the DA. What does she bring?
To the leadership contest or to the party?
Just generally to the party.
Well, I mean, she is an excellent leader. She was crowned as one of the top 5 young leaders by a top panel internationally, I think, a year or so ago. She is a charismatic person. She has been given the short end of the stick by the DA before. They deployed her in the Umkanya-Kudi district, which is the far north of Zululand, the part bordering on Mozambique and Swaziland, where at the time when she became the MPL for that area, it had absolutely zero representation. Now it has representation in every single council in that district. So she can work hard, and she can take the shots. She doesn't only dish it out. She's a strong candidate.
Let's talk a little bit about John Steenhuisen's relationship with Helen Zille. I was listening a little earlier when Tito Mboweni said he's been told to stay in his lane, and it reminded me of Helen Zille saying, "I will stay in my lane." Do Zille and Steenhuisen get on? Will she dominate him, or is he going to chart his own course?
Well, I think they've had a checkered relationship. At times they've been close, at times they've not been. And both are strong personalities and both relish a fight. So the point is how they're going to work together after this, should she also be elected in her race against Mike Moriarty. And that would prove interesting. Steenhuisen, thus far, as acting leader, has basically let her have her way, as far as I could see. One never knows what happens behind the scenes, but she's also been rather quiet for the last month or so, no strange tweeting and such. So one would think that they probably reached some sort of agreement, seeing that he is associated with her very much, and Balintulo not at all. So therefore, at least more so than Tuli is he associated with her, and we will have to see how that works out. Both will have to stay in their lane, with the inside lane to the leader generally. But the question is, and this point has been made by many political commentators, that the DA will then have a leader, and it might also have a ruler who will be a different person, and that would be Helen Zille.
Thank you very much, journalist and writer Jan Jan Joubert.